Your quivering and quaking shows your mind. My Shessel, calm your fears. Though such an act may risk godly suspicion, I do have reason enough to hope for grace. And now I must admit I plucked you from the ranks for one other reason, withheld with care. You tried to hide your origin divine, and nobly so, for children of the gods could reverence only receive from me and those among the guard. Evading such favor is the sign of a humble soul, but rumor spreads most quickly among those who have no occupation but to talk. Further, the most grievous of injuries afflict you for an hour at most, and leave you so refreshed it kindles awkward qualms. A lunar demigod born from the stars, from three-aspected hush, would lend some sort of advantageous look to the labor. So Shessel is a, I can't believe I forgot to mention this before, Shessel is a demigod born from the Rusin god of the moons, named Hush. I'll continue. At this, a prisoner appears, brought by soldiers from another tent. His eyes burn. Commander Olrains passes with his cuffs papyrus bound with twine and waxen seal. Take this, a mainland warrior captured during the previous battle and siege. The mountain's beacon needs a certain spark, an earthly life to light its brilliant gaze. Along with him take one compatriot. This scroll as well details your forward path with more instructions. Gather up your arms and soon withdraw. Do not forget the weight of this your deed. Should you succeed, victory is good as snared, yet failure prompts untold demise. Of this you must remain aware. An hour into the evening, within her sharkskin-made pavilion, a fire plays dancing shades upon the canvas side. An expedition suddenly assigned weighs heavily upon the mind and thoughts of celestial Shessel. Were I like Naur, she murmurs in a trance, her eyes affixed, exhibiting my godhead to the world as freely as an angel fish their stripes, no doubt the mission would have come the same, if only somewhat sooner, fanfare framed. Though I had hoped a secret kept might sure become advantage over enemies who know me not, or lie unseen among our ranks, for war so long extended can't forego conspiracy or sleeper spies. If rumor flies so fast, what's done is done. With stupefaction lost to babbling lips, a reputation must now take its place. If on my journey I could craft a name, display to sacred eyes my healing edge, perhaps the fear inflicted in their hearts outweighs the benefit of subterfuge. So that's the first section from the beginning of the poem. The second reading I'll be doing is later, after they've departed in their ship and gone across the bay to reach another island, and they're entering a marsh. Yes, and she's with her compatriot Elaine, who's another Rusin Islander warrior, and the Sicarian prisoner Nectarian, who's the one they were going to sacrifice.
Where?
269, lines 269 to 318. As dawn approaches and the sky burns red, the Triad's dinghy passes into shoals and soon enough meanders into marsh, with reeds pointing the way to Stony Mount. The streams between the cattails wander back in loops and cuts and taper to dead ends, while thousand-fingered fronds reach from the muck to scrape along the sides of Shessel's skiff and Elaine's nerves. The croaks, coquilles, the hum of insect wings envelop the vessel in thrumming drone. After some hours gone, the sun pulls further from the horizon and beats down with its rays upon their scalps. The looming pinnacle ceases growing as channels tangle and entwine to thus ensnare the skiff in its intricacies. Now with the wind near death and the canals growing ever more narrow, the Rusin pair must draw oars to keep from idling. 1,000 pulls and aching muscles sore allow a hovel to materialize, raised up on stilts and drunkenly tilted above the marsh, like a teak skeleton of a lone heron. Snails creep up the stained and spindly legs, only for gravity to peel them off as they approach the shack, plonking them once again into the bog. A set of rotting steps descends below the waterline, prepared for any tide, a small decayed canoe moored to its low and hidden base. While Shessel ties the skiff alongside, the concerned Elaine whispers into her ear, "We cannot leave fettered Nectarian alone. What, are you mad? He'll seize the boat and leave us stranded here with no seaworthy vessel then to rot." Tucking high Olrain's paper in her pouch, the duteous Shessel leaps to the steps, which then groan and complain. "Then I suppose you'd rather drag him in, a burden, as we venture into what may equally be helpful stranger or dangerous foe. And where would he proceed within this swamp, should he attempt to commandeer the oars?" she turned, "if he is just as lost as we." Yet even as Elaine and Shessel reach the highest warped step, they peer down past the sail to see Nectarian stare steadily across the sprawling marsh, towards the distant, stormy horizon. So that's the end of the second reading. Let me get back. Are there any questions? Because I'm basically finished.